Yes, you do. Didn't you do some filming?
No,
You
I
did
never really.
editing.
Yeah, I did editing, which I've lost all my editing skills because I don't do it anymore. But
What's your favorite kind of like media style thing to do?
my favorite media style thing to do. What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, like, okay, so you've done editing.
Mm-hmm.
You've done some types of graphic design, some type of fashion design as well. You've also done writing. Like,
I'm good at making. I'm not good at, or at least I guess I'll say I don't do this, and so that's why I'm not good at it. But like, I don't create a lot of things from my head to, a brand new original thing. What I'm really
Interesting.
good is like, I'm just good with Canva, where it's like you're taking other people's art styles and images and stuff. I'm really good at manipulating it
yeah,
and making it look the way I want it to look.
yeah,
And I really like making things look aesthetically pleasing
yeah.
and like eye catching, and that's really I've just done it a lot through the website, through the documents we make.
Yeah, the website looks fantastic, by the way. I literally was on there the other day for something. I can't remember what I was doing. But I was like, dang, this thing looks tight.
Dude.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's like 4 years of trying to make it look good, but there's like been 4 or 5 iterations of it.
So many, but I just feel like when you see something that's very well designed, it's all like, all of the elements have been chosen specifically to work together, like typefaces, everything, colors,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Your dominance, your text hierarchy of like how you do headers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes things look great in my opinion.
Dude.
So you did a great job with that.
Oh, I appreciate it. Font's actually something I've really been getting into the last year or two. Actually, it kind of started with our first Hope Classroom version, and I was working with this guy Worth, and he was kind of, when we were designing the logo for this thing, he was just like telling me how important the font was, and I always kind of knew it was, but there's like so many fonts, and you're like, but it really is an art, like trying to find a font that communicates something with, I don't know, it's interesting. It's just the font alone.
Yeah, well, it's not only just like the communication that it is, but also there's utility in different fonts as well, like serif versus sans serif. Like, I took some classes when I was in school and stuff, like the serifs, the little tails and stuff, like, that was for print. Like, if you're going to put something on paper, it's going to be read on paper, use a serif font. But if you're going to use like something on digital, stick with like sans serif stuff. There's just like a lot of things, like in how wide things are, the spacing, the line spacing, if you're doing paragraphs, it all plays into it.
It does.
Keeping things balanced, and like, on brand with your content, but your product, your whatever, I find that very fascinating. I used to have a teacher who made her own fonts. She was a hand
like calligraphy or
calligraphy,
something?
but also she would do like just like regular hand writing, like not calligraphy, just like hand. What do they call them? Yeah, I think like handwritten font thing. Yeah. And then she digitized them. She would do it on like an iPad and like make them and then like export them and put them on like font websites and stuff. And so she was all into it. But there's like math behind like how tall they are versus like the baseline versus like the lowercase h, like how far up does it arch versus the top? What's the ratio? There's so much that goes into fonts, dude.
I'm not even into that kind of stuff. I just kind of like go with. I go with more of the feel now for me and how it fits the project, but I didn't even know there's like a whole science behind it too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That and so it's cool. No, I'm totally into that as well. So, but that's what I kind of was asking about. What's your favorite kind of like media style thing to do? You like to take other people's things and you can use it and manipulate it on Canva.
Yeah, like creating posters and flyers and graphic. I really like making graphics that can communicate something, and it's so difficult to figure out. Some of these things on Canva take me so long.
Really?
It's like, it seems so simple when you've never seen it before, and then you give the image to somebody and you're like, oh, that's really cool. That looks, and you can be like, oh, that seems very simple, but it's like, it takes so much work to put a ton of information onto a visual that makes sense at the blink of an eye. It's very difficult. It takes so much time, more time than I ever thought it would. But I like making graphics that when you look at it, you can just and not that I'm any good at it yet, but my goal is to, make it so you can just look at it and understand it without having to even know what it is, but you can kind of like follow it in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably one of my favorites.
Infographic,
yeah, but even just like
text a little bit too.
like there's this one I just worked on for our community ambassador program, where it's really based around this social penetration theory, which is like this it's really massive theory, but basically how relationships are built, and it really comes down to these two things called breadth and depth. And breadth is really the different areas of focus or topics or content. So it's like, I'm very bad at coming up with these examples on the spot, but like, very biographical, informational stuff about you, like your age, your name, where you're from, to more in-depth to bigger things like, what are your hobbies? And then there's breadth, which is the range of topics, and then there's depth, which is diving into a topic further and further. And to try and we're trying to map out this school year with like taking schools across this breadth and into this depth throughout the year, and just putting that on an image to show it to like what we're trying to do. Just like took so much time in terms of like a timeline, as well as like what we're gonna try to get into, and
This reminds me of like a create a player or create a character on like a video game kind of.
Yeah.
Like you first start off with like name. Like, okay, so like I used to play NHL a lot, so I'd like create professional hockey players because that's the career mode.
Yeah.
So you start with name, what position, how old are you, where are you from?
Yeah.
Okay, all this stuff. Then you go into, okay, what's your hair look like? What's your eyes? What are those? You do the custom.
But it gets even more in depth. Yeah.
And then it's like, do you want your jersey untucked? And then I think this is where the depth starts: is what type of player are you? Where are your skills? Do you have 100 skill points to spend?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Like, and then you start like putting like, okay, well, like I really want to be good at shooting, but I don't have enough to budget for accuracy, or I'm not as fast. But like, you know what I'm saying, kind of?
Oh, absolutely.
It kind of feels like that a little bit.
Yeah,
you get like the place fillers out of the way, like who, what's your name, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Cool. But who are you is kind of the depth part.
Oh yeah, that's a great analogy. Actually, Tom and I were talking either yesterday or today about this whole concept, and it just reminded me of the video game thing, where we may try and frame this as a bit of a story type thing, where like today we're trying to connect it with kids and to make them give this bigger picture of what we're trying to do, but not in a boring way. Like nobody wants to talk about social penetration theory. Like it's a fun science.
Try saying that in high school.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
Gonna get a wild response.
You will get a wild response. But if we can say, we're approaching this with an idea that this school year is a season, like on TV.
Yeah.
And you're a character in this series.
Yeah.
And you're trying to build this character, and you can't really, you're in the story, right? Like you can't like leave the story. Without you in it, there is no story, right? So you're really not left with the option to really be in the story or be out of the story. You're part of the story. And so what kind of character, what kind of person do you want to be within that story? And how do you want to, contribute to the best story that, your school can tell? Just like all the individuals collectively, like, trying to come together and create this narrative that, is about, building the things that we like to build: hope, action, empathy, human skills, all that stuff. But in a fun, we're framing it in like, if you didn't have Harry Potter, you wouldn't have the Harry Potter movies. So it's like, if we don't have you in this movie doesn't exist. So what kind of a character, though, do you want to be? And you have the choice and the ability through your, controlling your attitude, behavior, efforts. You have that ability to choose what kind of character you want to be. But it's kind of really framing it in that fun, series, like story type way that kind of links to the video game thing too. It's like the same concept. Like life is just one big video game that we're all trying to like participate in, and it's like, but you get to choose. You don't get to really choose, necessarily your immediate externals. I think you can through repeated chosen attitude, behavior, and efforts can change those external things. But in the moment, you don't really have an option of where you're at. Like you're in your present moment.
Yeah.
But what kind of person can you be in that present moment and then moving forward? So we're trying to we might start like trying to frame it around that kind of a fantasy type thing, integrating it into the way we consume media today.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. I like that because also you can kind of put like quests and tasks and challenges into that kind of a situation as well, and kind of promote not just who you are, but kind of like what you want to go like do. I'm not sure if you're counting for this at all, but like just staying with that core theme of like challenge. Like maybe this year I want to, whatever, I don't know, like do 50 circles with whatever on my own,
or just something. Like I wanna hold the door open for that kid that I see doesn't get the door held. Like just little things you could like the gamification of it almost. Have you seen like those apps where it's like what is the one? There's like a big one, but it's like the gamify life, and it's like
Pokemon Go.
Well, there's Pokemon Go, but you got like this one. It's like more of like daily tasks, like clean your room. You create that little task in the game,
cool,
and it like gives you characters and like little pieces you can earn by completing tasks that you set for yourself.
That's interesting.
It's like the gamification of life.
Things that you don't really want to do.
Yeah.
Make it kind of fun.
Yeah.
I used to do that a little bit, and when I was in high school, I made a challenge. I was a freshman. And my challenge was I walked around with like what a pitch counter is, like, or like if you're going to a concert, they'll like command click.
The counter,
like little counter things. Yeah, I used to say hi to as many people a day as I could, and I'd keep track of it. Click,
That's
click.
Brilliant.
And I'd try to get as high of a score at the end of the week. That was one of my things I did as a freshman. I was just being silly.
But dude, that's
But it was something to do because like it forced me to kind of do something that I probably wouldn't have done if I didn't have that goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh no,
so
absolutely.
It's a cool little game thing.
No, that's exactly the kind of little strategy you can like apply. Like, one thing I wrote into this Brave program this year is this high five club. And it's literally just about going around and how many high fives can you collect throughout the school year, as yourself, but also as like a Brave, group.
Yeah.
The same kind of idea with the pitch.
High five stuff's awesome. Do you know a lot about high five stuff?
No.
So like in sports, like basketball, for example, the team that high fives each other or touches each other the most typically is the team that does the best.
Really?
Yeah, literally. It just shows the internal workings of their team.
Huh.
Yep. Especially in playoffs, it's very evident.
It's like almost a predictor of how successful they'll be. Is
100%.
Really?
Yep. How close knit they are. It's just a bonding thing. So because I kind of like try to, when we were getting serious about competitions and stuff for jiu-jitsu, I'll do like a high five kind of habit as well, where we'll just be like high five every round, bing bing bing, no slumping, stand up tall, high fives, like stuff like that, because the science says, at least in the NBA, that the team that touches each other more, the most touchiest team is how they put it, but it's like high fives or like shoulder pats or stuff, is the team that typically does the best.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of a cool little like hack. So it's like one of those things, it's like chicken or the egg. Like, let's say your team's not doing so good. Maybe if you just start embracing some of like these tropes of like, let's just start high-fiving more, I bet you your success rate will come around naturally because of it.
Dude, it goes back to like what we were talking about off camera, this notion of positive versus negative thinking.
Yeah.
And it's literally, I think, just the more positive thoughts you have, and it almost feels a little fake at first when you do it, right?
Yeah, it's fake it till you make it.
Yeah, it is a little bit of that fake it till you make it, but what it does is that it's, again, we become our habits, and it's like the repetition of it eventually manifests. You're like, whoa, this is actually working.
Bro, I would even say it's not fake. It's only fake if you're like, I don't know, because like if you're playing pretend as a kid and you're playing superhero, You know, you know you're not a superhero, but you don't feel like you're being a fake superhero. You're playing superhero. So like in this regard too, like you're just playing a successful team.
Yeah.
Playing as a successful team.
Yeah.
And then you're faking it, but you're gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like
no, I think you're onto something there. I think what's the internal state of you? Is it just I'm doing this high five thing because everybody else is doing it, but I think it's stupid inside.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in it, like, is it actually gonna work?
Yeah.
Versus like you're a kid in make believe, and you don't actually have these powers, but inside it's manifesting that you are. But what are you teaching yourself from that? What kind of skills are you gaining? What kind of a mindset are you? You know, that courage, that confidence, that bravery that superheroes do have. You might think it comes from, you know, your super strength and stuff, but it comes from the internal state. That's incredibly fast. I think you're exactly right. It's not just, you can't just do it externally.
Yeah.
It has to be what you think inside too.
Yeah. And I think it's cool though that you can kind of jumpstart it though, because like, you know, it's just something that I've kind of played with myself, like in terms of jiu-jitsu stuff and with my friends. And I was on team sports a lot growing up, and I kind of can see it, and you can visually see it, and statistically the numbers are on the side of that. So it's just an interesting thing.
Well, you're also like, you're probably one of the more influencers of that. And so it's like, you know, it goes back to leadership and influencers, and, you know, when the leader or when an influencer buys into that, you know, it's just infectious.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, might not get it with the first, you know, few times you do it, somebody be like, it's stupid, but you know, they'll probably start getting into it if, you know, they buy into the leadership, if they, you know, see you as an influencer and see that positivity. I think it does, you know, change them internally. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's this like rhyme that reminded me of that when you said infectious, and it says and you probably have heard this too, if you're juiceless, you're useless. If you're juiceless, you're useless. If you're juiceful, you're useful.
I never heard that.
Just like, and so like it's just, and then it's like go out and bring the juice, meaning just like bring the energy, and that's kind of like that positive energy is infectious in those environments, all environments.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, it really is.
It's just good, like that's a little, what is it, mnemonic or something to kind of like remind you to.
There's another
bring
one.
The juice.
I just heard gnats and pats.
What is that?
Oh my God, it's God, I can't remember. I literally just heard.
Bro, you can't set me up like that.
I know, but gnats are like, you think of gnats, you're
like,
swatting them away. Those are the negative thoughts. I can't remember what the acronym is. NAT. I can't
negative
remember.
Something.
Negative something. But like gnats, you swat them away.
Yeah.
And so you don't want those.
Gnats is that with a G or an N?
I think it might be spelled GNATS, but I think the concept is NAT, and then PATS, PAT, positive. I think it's what
does it say?
Automatic. Positive automatic thoughts and negative automatic thoughts.
There you go.
Oh.
Positive automatic thoughts.
Okay.
Automatic
Which one are you? Are they natural? Are you naturally one of those? Are you naturally a positive, or are you naturally a negative, or are you naturally both? Like, what are you naturally?
That's a good question. I don't know if there's...
Or, dude, you're naturally both, but the one that you become dominant in is the one you attend to the most.
Well, that is, I believe, 100% true.
Yeah.
Is the one you become dominant is the one you attend to the most. As a kid, you know, you grow up in your environment and you're just not aware of these kind of things. And so I think your environment and the influencers in that environment probably play a big factor on your internal positive or negative thinking. I'm certain there are probably people that are more prone to positive versus negative thinking. It's just at what point do you become aware of the fact that, oh, I'm a really pessimistic or negative thinker more than I am a positive or optimistic thinker. And, you know, it goes back to the awareness. You can't come up with solutions for things you're not aware of. And I think as kids, you know, you aren't aware of that kind of stuff. But you know, what point do you become aware of that? And then you have to, you know, as that individual, I think, make that choice to choose which one you want to pursue more. And yeah, it's like if you're negative, if you become aware of it and you're more of a negative thinker, yeah, it's probably be harder to become a positive thinker, but it's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's just due to repetition.
Yeah, probably in setting as well too. Like, yeah, maybe. I could see a few things like
The environment, like
so much probably could dictate as well because I feel like I could be negative certain times.
oh, it's not that we're never negative.
Right. No, of course.
Right.
We are. And is that a good thing to have any negativity? Is there any utility in negativity that you know of? Does it serve a purpose, or is it truly just a trap of energy?
That I have not thought about that. The only my initial thinking is perhaps there's some survivability to it.
I think I know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but this is just something that popped in my head. It's like, what would positive be if there wasn't negative? Like, there's that element too.
You can't have good without bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So perhaps maybe it's there just to kind of steer you from it and focus on something else, or I don't know, or if there's some kind of survivability thing too, like a cautious kind of take on it almost.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you approach every situation with this. In a survival, it's like in the ideal world, you want to probably approach every situation with that positive thinking. But it's like we don't live in an ideal world. We live in a world where we have to still survive. And it's like if you approach every situation with this optimistic positivity, like, oh, that person's not going to screw me over. It's like, well, you might be detrimental to your own survivability.
Yeah. Okay, imagine this. Would this be positive or negative? Okay, you're out, you get struck by lightning. Positive or negative for you?
Well, that's the other thing about positive and negative thoughts. I mean, if I'm struck by lightning and I survive, I would probably think, like, the lightning strike in that moment, I guess, is maybe not like a positive thing.
What? Wait, what? What did you just say?
In the moment, it's like...
While you're getting struck by lightning, you're like, yay, this is positive?
No, God.
I'm just asking.
No, obviously. I'm probably not thinking it's positive. But, I mean, if I, die from getting struck by lightning, I guess it's irrelevant what I think.
Okay, you're alive.
So I have to live in order to have a positive or negative outlook on it.
Yeah.
But it goes back to Rick's thing, How do you you can't change the fact that I got struck by lightning. It happened,
Yeah.
How do you then take that, what you can from it, and what opportunities that gives you now moving forward?
Yeah.
It's that positive framing.
Okay.
But that's a tough one to bite,
No, this is great though, because where I was going with this was like, if you got struck with lightning with a kite and a key and you invented electricity, right?
Hey,
there you go.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
that's where I was gonna go. I was trying to say, if you'd say that's negative, there's no positive in that. Like,
no,
that's good,
yeah.
You're all right, because it's like kind of like, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
With that kind of thing. Do you turn it into like something?
The struck by lightning with the key thing. It's like,
yeah, like you hear struck by lightning, that sounds negative, like
right.
Pretty much 100% negative. That sounds horrible, actually.
Right.
Say, oh no, but you had a kite and a key and you just invented electricity.
Invented electricity.
So
rather than being pissed off, you get struck by lightning, be like, whoa, I didn't figure that out.
Yeah, check. Got that done.
Yeah. So I think, go ahead.
But that's a person. Back to mindset. That's the type of person. Benjamin Franklin.
I think
Thomas Edison.
I'm not gonna. It's one of those, and I'm not good with history.
One of them.
I don't think it was Franklin. I think it was Edison.
It was Edison.
Edison, yeah.
But he invented other things too, right? He was an inventor.
I think he was an inventor, yeah.
That's the type of person to view everything as an opportunity to invent something new and like kind of go.
Yeah.
Like based on his resume and like credentials and like who he was as a person, how he viewed the world, good thinking, bad thinking, he was even able to turn like perhaps negative things into inventions that helped everyone.
Yeah.
Was it Thomas Edison?
Benjamin Franklin.
Dang, I thought it was one of them.
You were right.
So it was Benjamin Franklin. What did Thomas Edison? Oh, he invented the light bulb, the Edison bulb.
I know, that's why I connected it with, I think, the electricity thing, but I guess...
Ben Franklin, he invented bifocals.
Yeah.
He signed the Declaration of Independence.
I'm pretty sure he was on that, and probably the Constitution.
The Constitution,
maybe,
all over. He invented bifocals. That's what it said in National Treasure.
Was he in the printing press thing too, or?
I don't know about that. No, I feel like that was in England. Gutenberg.
Oh.
Gutenberg press. Did you know the first book he printed was the Bible?
Really?
Gutenberg Bible. I'm pretty sure it was the first thing printed ever.
Fascinating.
I could I think I learned this in the type class actually.
Huh.
When I talk
The
about
font class?
Yeah.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I'd probably forget it by now.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay, I want to get your perspective on this. Since we were talking about this, I remembered this. Okay, remember this idea. So I grabbed this as my talking piece just now before the show started.
You
and we started talking. I want to get your perspective on this. This was a trick my grandfather used to do. Okay, so first of all, how long do you think you're gonna live before you get struck by lightning and die? No, I'm just kidding. How long do you think you're gonna live?
How long do I think I'm gonna live? Like a genuine guess?
Yeah, like just genuine, based on people in your family, how your health is. If you had to guess.
I try to. I'd say 70s maybe.
70s maybe.
We'll say.
All right, 70s. Wow, Brian, you're living long. What? We're saying like 76.
Sure, go.
Okay, so this is 76 years right here.
Okay.
Where are you on this timeline right now?
Oh, I don't want to think about this.
Holy smokes, dude! You're almost halfway done.
I know. I'm almost halfway there.
Okay, what's your perspective on this?
That's
what's your?
I know.
What's your like? What's going on? Do you ever just? I feel like I personally don't think about this enough.
No, we don't.
And it's like, wow, you've done so much. Some of that you couldn't really. You were a baby, so you can't really.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these early years, it's hard to even reflect on this kind of a concept. But it's like you got 10 years here in your 20s.
Yeah,
it's like you
dude.
could have. What could you have done in that?
Probably
point?
nothing yet.
Yeah,
probably not. You're probably still in.
Dude, that's a
build mode.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, but and okay, not to be crazy here, but I'm pretty sure. Can you do me a solid? Can you look up? What is it called? Grey Goose Vodka founder of Grey Goose Vodka. Didn't not to have an alcohol theme. I'm just showing this of like it's never too late, kind of always positive. I don't think he invented that brand until he was 72 years old.
Oh wow!
And was basically like nobody, nothing, like his whole life.
Wow!
And then invented it.
Yeah, well, it's not even. Yeah, it's like. Wasn't there that like lady that became painter, like my gosh, in her 60s or 70s or something, became like, was it not Maya Angelou, was it?
What was she, just like a
one of these crazy famous painters? She didn't start until way old, and she became like incredibly well known for her art.
Well, Vincent Van Gogh wasn't famous at all.
Yeah.
Until he died.
Yeah, until he died, so
yeah.
I mean, it isn't even like going back to, I guess, a deeper conversation with like fame and stuff. It's like it's not even about that. It's about your I think your day, like what is your daily quality of life like in terms of.
No, but this, in my opinion, brings it back to this character of this gamification of your school year. It's like we look at who you want to be for this school year, but what you really are doing is. During these years here, your teenage years, you're building the character for the rest of this timeline, and you're cementing who you are into history. And then you look at an unfortunate situation like what happened with Kennedy. That character of who she chose to be is now a living legacy, and is literally like inspirational foundation to all the work STEP students are going to be doing in the future.
Yeah.
Like had you presented this, who do you want your character to be? To her when she was alive and had the opportunity, before unfortunate circumstance, because it's a tricky thing to deal with, but I think
it's a great reminder that have you ever heard the concept memento mori?
Is that like no? I've seen it.
It's an old like Stoic
Italian or Roman thing.
I think it's like Greek or something.
Yeah.
Greek or Roman or something. Memento mori. It's found in Stoicism. I don't know if it's like the origination, but I know the Stoics really embrace it. It's like contemplate that you must die.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to be like this negative contemplation, but it's supposed to be like
truth.
Yeah, it's truth. And you just have to. You don't want to dwell in it on a negative aspect, but you look upon it and you're like you realize you must die. It might be today, it might be tomorrow, it might be 50 years from now. You don't know when. And so it goes back to then what choices then am I making in the present? Like the pillow test. Like I'm glad I did. I wish I had. Like so you just take it kind of like one day at a time in that way, and I don't know. Yeah.
Out of all the cultures in the world, like we're one of the only ones who, when people die, they get embalmed, they get cosmetically dressed up, they get fully dressed up. They get put in a casket, open funeral, and like put on display. Like I was just listening to this podcast called Lore, and it's kind of like a true weird history kind of podcast, like eerie human traditions over the years, basically, and legends and lore, basically. And it was just talking about, like, he went through and he listed, like, the Tibetan sky funerals where they take their dead bodies, they cut them up, and they bring them to the top of a really tall mountain, and they put them up there, and birds eat them. And they fly around and birds eat them. And then he did some other ones where, like, I can't even remember any of the other ones, I just remember that one. But there was a few more that appeared bizarre to us.
Well, like mummification.
Things like that. Oh, there was one of like a catacombs where they like preserved this young child, and they stuck her, and they stuck her down in like the catacombs, and like the concept of catacombs, like the skulls and stuff on the walls and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he said ours, but he like framed it in a way that he didn't set the context to ours. He's like, isn't that a weird one? And I'm like, yeah, that's like the weirdest one, even weirder than Tibetan sky burials.
And it's ours.
And it's ours, like, you know. Or like Vikings, put them on a ship and burn them as they sail out. Like, it's just different. It's like Americans have this, instead of embracing the death and decay and like, which is natural.
It is.
You consider you must die. Like, this is the truth.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to get dark and morbid here on the Sweethearts and Heroes podcast, but I'm just saying, like,
no, it's true though.
I'm just saying, like, our society refuses to see that side of it.
We don't want to accept it. Almost.
Don't want to accept it.
Yeah.
So we literally pump the bodies full of preservatives, drain them of their blood, put blemish on them, make them look lively, dress them up for, you know what I mean? Like, and it's the only culture that does it that way.
Wow, that's
which is just interesting. Like, and I'm just, and they were also kind of talking about headstones in that episode. I'm remembering, and it's like, the true stuff, in my opinion, is probably the stuff that's on your headstone, or the legacy you leave behind. Like, was a great father, was a great whatever leader, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's probably what you should be remembered for, or you'd like to be, ideally.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to speak about these kind of things because I just haven't personally experienced much loss in my family or anything close people to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, how do you, this balance of being sad that that person is no longer with you, but at the same time celebrating what they did do, what their lives were like. You go to funerals and it's kind of like this morbid thing. You don't, it's uncomfortable, and it's like not a time of celebration when it's like, what could you be celebrating about that person's life, and embracing the fact that they even were around. I mean, Tom goes to them with his free hug shirts, and it's like, there's a whole nother level there of like, comforting people. But it's a fascinating thing, death, and how you think about it, because it is a truism, and that we have to ultimately embrace, because we all must die. But there is this cultural rejection of it. Like, we just don't want to think about it. We don't want it to be something that is. And so does that rejection, does that not talking about it, does that not, working through those things, contemplating those things, how is that impacting us? Whether negative or positive, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But it's just interesting to think about that. I think, just those things. Yeah. I mean, taking a positive outlook on your life, or anyone's life, or anything in general, I think just seems to also be the best way you can go about doing anything. Whether it be like a situation like Rick, whether it be like a Benjamin Franklin kind of situation, or death, or just anything in general. But I think it starts, like you say, like with that conscious like awareness, but also deliberate choice, which is like a moral kind of ground. I don't think I've ever met anyone in my own life, I'm not saying they don't exist, but who's like chose to be bad, other than maybe like some people on like pro wrestling trying to be the heel or something, as a character. But like, I don't think I've met anyone who's like purposely tried to be bad in my own life. I'm not saying they don't exist.
Well, it's like, I just heard this concept the other day that everybody thinks they're the good guy in their own story.
Yeah, even the bad guys think they're the good guys.
Oh yeah.
Of course, man.
Everybody and who's applying the bad guy, narrative to them?
Right.
I heard of this.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever watched the movie, but Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Christopher Waltz, I think that was kind of the first movie that got him on the map. I think he was like this. He's this Austrian actor, and he played the Nazi in it. He was having an interview, and actually I heard this on a podcast of Modern Wisdom with Simon Sinek. I don't know if you've heard of Simon Sinek.
No, but I like the podcast.
Yeah, Modern Wisdom. Yeah. Simon Sinek is really, really fascinating guy. But he's like, when this interviewer was asking Christopher Waltz, he's like, what kind of a mindset did you have to put yourself in to play the bad guy so like he played him in such an eerie way? Yeah, he's like, and the actor looked at him, he's like, what are you talking about? He wasn't a bad guy. Yeah. Like, because he understood the character, that the character wasn't coming at it from this place of, I'm the bad guy. He came at it thinking he was the good guy.
Yeah.
And what does that say to just like our landscape as a country today? It's like we seem to be splitting into these two sides, and both of them think they're the good guys, and both of them think the other side are the bad guys.
That's sketchy, man.
It's sketchy, and you're not gonna, when you just argue with people about where they're wrong and where you're right, you're only gonna entrench them in their beliefs.
Right, you're gonna force them to say, this is why I don't agree with you.
Yeah, you're just building that energy up.
So, well then, how do you cross that divide then? What's a way to do that? First, by chatting with them. This cannot be rushed, probably.
No,
it's rushed.
It's definitely not a rush, and I think we've swung so far one way with it now. It's gonna, take a lot of time to go back the other way.
Did you ever hear? This is reminding me of a thing. We're going.
We're all over the place.
This is reminding me of a thing. There's this African American guy. I think his name's David something, or I can't remember exactly, but I came across some of his videos a long time ago. He has made his entire life's purpose to go to all the Ku Klux Klan members and convert them from being in the KKK.
I think I know.
Because, and this is like severely opposite here. And this man has crossed the divide, and he's done it through he's converted so many Klan members to say, you know what, I had it all wrong. And he approaches this divide and this kind of opposing viewpoint through patience and just trying to talk to each other, get to know each other,
understand
and that has worked through through his experience. Isn't that insane?
It was exactly what Simon Sinek said on that podcast. He's like, it's gonna sound backwards. Like, if you feel like you're the victim of, being targeted by somebody like in a negative way, it sounds backwards. But you as the person feeling like you're being attacked, you really have to be the one to be gracious with the person that you feel is attacking you, because they're not going to. Most likely the person that is attacking you for whatever reason, whatever state of mind they're in, whatever the context is, like, that person, is not going to be the one to offer that, peace, leaf, like, or whatever, like. The victim, the way the terminology he used it, but the person that is receiving that and feels like you have to be the one almost to offer that grace and compassion first before. And he used an example of one of these ladies he knows who would join these rallies and not walk with these people for whatever, I can't remember what they're walking for or against or marching against, but she would join them and walk alongside them. And it was, counter to basically her entire, belief system and whatever. But she was doing it to understand and just communicate with them as humans and get to know them as people.
Yeah.
But what does that do, man? It's like, how can you hate somebody that's trying to be kind to you, listening to you, trying to understand? Like, how can you hate that person? How can you continue to do that? It changes it.
I think it does.
And it's hard, that person that has to go and do that, but to me, that's like perhaps the only solution at this point.
Yeah. I think I feel like that's something that should be, I think there is a shift kind of in this thing, in this kind of like aspect as the generations are going on. I would like to think that it's what I've kind of heard through all of like the things that I listen to and stuff. I feel like once I hear something like a few different times from a couple different angles, I think it's a good display that it might actually be kind of going. And what I mean by that is like the shift in consciousness amongst like humanity probably at this point, like or maybe America. I don't know if the other parts of the world needed it or if it was just America who needed it. Growing up, I always was like, oh, freaking America, like, they're dumb. Like, you know, like, that was what I perceived the rest of the world thought about America. Yeah. And maybe they still do a little bit. I don't know necessarily, but...
It's hard to tell when you're inside
it's exactly
your own culture. You
know?
You can't tell.
I don't even know what to...
Yeah. Anyways. No, but I know exactly what you're saying, like... but yeah, it goes back to having these conversations, having the awareness of it. It all starts there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think as we, you know, are trying to work through all these crazy different things that are going on that seem to just divide people, the only solution is just gonna be, you know, offering that compassion, that empathy, and not coming at it with the intention of, oh, I'm trying to be right, I'm trying to change your opinion. You know, it's got to come from a genuine place of...
Genuine.
Yeah, like, you're another human being. You have a right to exist, to have dignity, and people feel that energy when it's genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said energy, because this got me thinking about all this stuff. So, like, if you feel like this could be like a rule of thumb, like, or a reminder or something. If you feel like someone's being really negative, although logically it might feel like I should stay away from you because I don't like it, I should try to notice your negativity, it's probably positivity in your eyes, but from my point of view, it appears negative. I should remind myself to cancel that out with genuine positivity towards you. The opposite of what I feel like instinctually I'd want to do. I'd want to go away from you. Yeah. But like this is kind of like that, like if you held two negative magnets towards each other, they would just push each other further apart. They'd repel, you know, two positive. But if you did like a negative and a positive, they'd actually make a perfect match. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like as a signal light, like, oh, feeling a little bit of negativity coming from you. I'm not saying you're intending to be negative.
Right.
But based where I'm sitting and how I feel, I'm feeling negativity coming from you.
Right.
Don't fight back with more negativity.
Yeah.
Be positive, and then
that's exactly because it will. The what likes repel and like opposites attract or whatever.
Yep.
Huh.
So like I don't know if that could be like a little
that totally
thought or something, because that's a truth in like magnetism.
Yeah. Well, and again, you know, the universe is made of frequencies, of energy, or of whatever. So it's like I couldn't imagine. You know, we see it on a very materialistic. And the final product is like just these magnets, but like the theory, I couldn't imagine doesn't apply the same to human beings.
Yeah.
Like we're made of matter the same as the magnets.
That's true.
You know?
That is true.
No, I think that's a fantastic analogy. And yeah, you really can't fight fire with fire. You know, you have to offer that compassion and that the never ending love with it, you know? Yeah. It's good.
Well, that's very cool. That's a very good way. I think we should end on that never-ending love. Right?
Yeah, that's good. We went all over the place today.
We literally were like, we were talking about death and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that all right?